So now I've started uploading some Shadowlands videos. The one question I get multiple times every single video is, what Covenant should I play? Now, firstly, this entirely depends on what you actually want to do in the game, right? If you care a lot for aesthetics and thematics and things like that, and you aren't raiding Mythic at a super high level, then you really should just be able to pick whatever you like. Obviously, community perception and pugging might be a bit more awkward this way if you're pugging weekly and plus and things like that, but I don't think it's really going to be as bad as what some people make it out to be. However, if you are interested in picking a Covenant purely for performance reasons, which seems to be a lot of people, regardless of what Blizzard think, then I'm really sorry, but honestly, the answer is to just wait and see. The best way to pick a Covenant is going to be to just leave it as absolutely late as possible in the entire process. You know, not just release, but possibly even Mythic Week as well. So we just know the absolute most possible information before picking. Pretty much every Wednesday, new beta builds get pushed, which can completely change everything about not only the Covenant abilities, like we saw this Wednesday, or even the specs themselves. You know, Marks and BM are completely changing from week to week. Cobra Shot changed this week. There's going to be changes to Serpent Stalkers for marksmanship in the near future as well. For the Covenant abilities themselves, I mean, the Night Fae Wild Spirits ability was absolutely terrible for marksmanship. Well, pretty much terrible for all of the specs. Just a few days ago, it got slightly reworked on Wednesday to be absolutely insanely good, although obviously this was mainly through bugs. And now there's been a blue post already saying that fixes are on the way again, which is probably going to make it quite weak for MM again. Obviously, we don't know that just yet, but quite likely. So essentially, we've had 3 different power levels for Night Fae in the space of the last 3 days. So as much as people don't like the answer, it really is just absolutely pointless to pick your Covenant for release based on just current information right now. If you are super keen on always having the latest information on what's currently looking good, then you can always either ask in the comments, but the best option is to just always check the Hunter Discord regularly. And obviously bearing in mind that you're never going to get given an exact answer. The answer will always be just sort of wait and see. Sim yourself to find out once everything goes live. Now, just a couple of extra quick things on Covenants. Firstly, people are super focusing just on the Covenant ability. The question is always, which Covenant ability should I pick? But the Covenants actually include like a whole host of things which are probably going to influence the decision, or definitely will influence the decision. Not only does your spec and content type that you primarily want to play change your Covenant choice, but the soulbinds and unlock levels also have a huge impact depending on sort of your progression level, when you're going to be on side and Athreus, and things like that. Some of the soulbinds for some Covenants are like significantly stronger than others when it comes to pure damage and throughput. So even though one ability might be slightly weaker than another, the overall Covenant package may be the actual best option. Yet again, this is something that we're just going to have to sim when it goes live. There also seems to be like a lot of panic amongst people that they're gonna pick one and then be stuck with some terrible Covenant for the entire expansion if something changes and one of the others gets buffed or the one they pick gets nerfed. But like this is something that you just don't have to worry about. Although you can't switch freely like between content types if you're doing raid and then M plus and then raid again. You never have to worry about picking one that's just going to be terrible and being absolutely stuck with it. You can change, you just can't change every hour or so. You know, there's going to be a weekly reset if you have to go back to something that you've already done. So you don't have to worry about being stuck with a bad one. I think really the best thing that you can do right now is to just play around with each of them on the beta if you have the beta, or on live before you pick. You do get an option to like try each of them out on a dummy. But as frustrating as it is, the best option is to just sit and wait till release to find out which spec will be the best in each situation, as well as which Covenant choices are the strongest. Obviously, which spec, we don't even know what spec we're going to play yet, and that will heavily influence which of the Covenant abilities we pick for raiding, for M+, for things like that. Now the super cringe part that my guild are really going to enjoy. If you want me to do more of these kind of commentary videos, then let me know in the comments. Once Shadowlands hits, I'm kind of thinking of doing some like fight walkthrough style videos of maybe trying to sort of min-max damage on each Castle of Nathria Mythic fight. So if that's something that you're interested in, then obviously feel free to follow. But yeah, thanks for listening.